Physics is the study of energy and matter in space and time and how they all interact with each other. Motion is a key study in physics and is the act of moving. All things in the universe move, whether it is a small or big motion. For something to move, an unbalanced force must be applied. A force can be a push or pull that causes an object to move, stop, or change direction. When objects collide, energy transfers from one object to the other. A force strong enough creates motion. Sir Isaac Newton is credited with the development of modern physics. Sir Isaac Newton was born on January 4, 1643 in England. He was a mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author. He is best known for his study of gravity and motion. In 1666, at the age of 23, he developed the theory of gravitation, which later became known as Newton's law of gravitation. He used his mathematical reasoning of gravity to explain and prove Kepler's laws of planetary motion, ocean tides, paths of comets, and other wonders. His research made him one of the most significant scientists because he disproved the theory that the Earth was the center of the solar system. He received a lot of criticism for suggesting that an unseen force could act over such long distances. What is gravity? Newton described gravity as a force that attracts two objects to each other. You may have heard the story that he discovered gravity when an apple fell on his head. Although it may not have happened like that, his findings were groundbreaking. Gravity is an invisible, weak force that is the attraction of matter to other matter. The more mass an object has, the more gravity it has. Gravity can travel over long distances even though it is a weak force. The force weakens as objects get further away from each other. The object with the smaller mass pulls toward the object with the larger mass. Gravity accounts for our weight on Earth. When we throw a ball, it eventually lands because of the pull of Earth's center of gravity. The moon's gravity causes the high and low tides of the ocean. The sun's gravity is responsible for the movement of the planets. In 1679, Newton expanded his studies of gravity by looking at how it affected the orbits of the planets. This led him to discover the three universal laws of motion. He published them in a set of 3 books called Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy. The 3 laws apply to the physics of motion. They focus on the relationship between an object and the external forces acting on it. The 3 laws hold so true that scientists simply call them Newton's laws of motion. The first law of motion describes why objects stay at rest or move. We can see examples of this everywhere. The first law of motion is also known as inertia. All objects have inertia. The law states that an object will stay at rest unless an external force acts on it, and an object will continue moving in a straight path until a force stops it or changes its direction. If you throw a ball in outer space, it will keep moving because there is no friction to slow it down. When you throw a ball on Earth, air slows down its movement, and the force of gravity pulls it towards the Earth. When you spin, there are tiny tubes in your ears with a liquid that spins too. When you stop spinning, the liquid in your ears continues to spin. You stopped, not the liquid. You feel dizzy because the liquid inside your ears continues to move and your brain thinks you are still moving. Inertia explains how an object resists motion. The more mass an object has, the more it resists movement. We can also say that as the mass of an object increases, its inertia increases. Mass is a measure of inertia. A great example is the classic tablecloth trick. It is when a person sets a table and pulls the tablecloth out from under the dishes. The force is applied to the tablecloth and not the dishes. The tablecloth moves, and as long as the force does not transfer to the dishes, they will stay in place. If you use a very light object, the trick may not work well because the lighter object has less inertia and can be easily affected by the force of the tablecloth. A heavier object has greater inertia and needs a more powerful force to move it. When conducting this trick, it is actually better to fill the glasses with water. Sir Isaac Newton's work was groundbreaking. The first law of motion helps us understand gravity and how objects move in the universe and here on Earth. Inertia tells us why things stay still, move, or change direction. Understanding inertia is important for our everyday lives and for creating new technologies that involve motion. This video brought to you by Kimberly Scott Science. Check out the video description for the corresponding reading passage, lesson activities, and a hands-on exploration.